What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another instant match reaction in our penultimate friendly game at Stamford Bridge. It finished Tottenham 2, Chelsea 2, which was a really good game of football in my opinion. Didn't really have a vibe about a friendly towards it. I mean, it felt like both teams were really giving it their all. I mean, in the first half, it really was men against boys. Chelsea completely overrun us, completely tore us to shreds. It was only 1-0 going into the second half, but still, I think it really was a case of men against boys. I mean, N'Golo Kante just completely ran rings around our midfield, and it felt like we just couldn't find any space on the ball. When we did find space going forward, our forward players were isolated, and there was no room to go in behind and what have you. Second half, I thought it was much better once Chelsea started to take off their players a bit. I thought Spurs grew into the game. Ollie Skip grew an influence in that middle of the park. Really nice goal from Steven Bergwijn on the left-hand side. I thought Son was a bit off it today. I really did. I thought Son was off it. I thought Dele wasn't that great today. I thought that first goal for Spurs was very lucky. It was very lucky for Dele Alli to find Lucas Moura, and it was very poor effort from Lucas Moura and deflected off a Chelsea player and looped into the goal. But I did feel Spurs did grow in that second half, albeit against pretty much a Chelsea C team. But in terms of like standout performers in the Tottenham side, who would you go for?
I think there's one man who's man of the match, and that's Golini.
Yeah.
I think Golini was definitely man of the match throughout the game. He made a number of impressive saves, routine and not routine. A few good one-handed saves to keep out. There was a Chelsea youngster who had a really good shot from the edge of the area, which he had to be at full stretch to keep out. Tammy Abraham, he had to make himself big from a one-on-one situation, and a few times he was the ball stuck to his hand like glue. It was really, really impressive from Golini. So I think as debuts go, I know it wasn't a competitive debut, but you've got to say it was an impressive outing from Golini, and hopefully there's more performances like that to come from him, and hopefully that will help him settle in and calm any kind of nerves if he was having any of. I know he's a confident boy.
Seems like it,
he does seem it. So I'm very, very impressed with Golini. In terms of outfield players, I think Eric Dyer had a solid game. I think he was pretty good. He made a number of very impressive blocks and tackles throughout the game, which prevented Spurs falling further behind than they were. Other than that, I think Skip was okay when Kante wasn't on the pitch. I think Winks actually, I know you're surprised, but I think Winks actually had a pretty good game in the second half. I was quite impressed with him. I think he had a good second half performance. Bergwijn was largely frustrating the first half, but he did get a goal in the second to make up for it. And
but the goal he scored, I mean, that is what we've been calling on Bergwijn to do. Take on your man, get that shot off, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, and I think too often he's not had the confidence to really go at his fullback or go at the defender he's facing. And in this instance, he did. And I got to say, fair play to him. He got his goal, and hopefully that should give him more confidence in the future. But other than that, I think there weren't too many outstanding performances. I just think as a team, we were pressing a lot more effectively in the second half. Maybe it has to do with Chelsea being a bit more disjointed with a lot more subs, and Spurs, maybe their structure that they had was good enough to play against a disjointed team, but maybe not good enough to play against a well-oiled machine, which Chelsea were in the first half.
That's what it was, because like you say, a well-oiled machine in the first half. They knew exactly what they were doing. Tactically, they were perfect. I thought they looked like a proper top side in that first half, which they are. Champions League winners, obviously, last season. But that was not the case at all in that second half. I thought in that second half, I thought we were the better side in that second half. I really did.
And to be fair, though, even for the first 15 minutes of the second half, despite conceding, I did think when we got the goal, it wasn't a massive shock. And at that stage, they'd only taken off Kante and Hudson-Odoi, so it was still
Kante's a big part of it. He's three players in one, you know.
But there's still a fairly strong team there, so I think we definitely did step up in the second half. That showed by Son missing that open goal. Literally right at the start within a minute. So we definitely came out with a lot more intent in our pressing, a lot more aggressive. We were completely anonymous in the first half.
Does that worry you, though, how anonymous we did look against a strong Chelsea side?
A bit. Hopefully we'll learn from it, and hopefully Nuno's still learning about his players, isn't he? Look, at the end of the day, we are a month behind. We've lost so much time so far this summer that it's going to take a bit of time to catch up. So, obviously, I'm a bit worried that we looked so toothless and so with such a lack of threat in the first half when it really was a proper game. Second half, it just felt like two teams looking to attack and weren't concentrating too much on defending and being a team and having structure and stuff like that. So it was a bit worrying from that sense, but at least we showed character. The players didn't fold. We kept going. We got the couple of goals, and we probably could have won it in the end. So, despite the fact, yes, it was when Chelsea made a lot of changes, we still did well. So I'm happy we turned it around, and it was a good game of football. So I enjoyed the 90 minutes. Good day out for charity, good money
25% of the £8. Yeah,
exactly. I'm not happy about that, but classic Spurs. But fair play for the event organisers. I'm looking forward to Sunday now because I think it might be a bit more of an enjoyable game. Hopefully we can take the trophy, mind season champions. If we win by 2 goals.
You'll never sing that.
If we win by 2 goals, we're mind season champions. So not
against Arsenal as well.
Against the Arsenal, so that'll be sweet. That'll be something to go into the season to. It's more than a friendly.
No shame.
Honestly, I think I'd rather the Mind series in the Conference League. I think I think I would. I'm not even joking.
All right, and on that note, everyone, thank you everyone for joining us today. Another instant match reaction: Chelsea 2, Tottenham 2 at Stamford Bridge. Moving on to Arsenal now in the final game of the Mind series, the final pre-season game leading up to the Premier League in just over a week's time. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.